amongst us. And today, we're honoring 4 folks. Charles Lane, where's Charles? Ron Lowry, Steve Manco, and Jay Stevenson. And today, we're welcoming new guests, and it's no coincidence that we coordinated this to be on the same day to welcome new guests and potential members, to celebrate our successes in the court and our successes fundraising and helping others. Because this association is built on our devotion to one another and our community. When we connect to others, we become better people. And when you're a lifetime member, you've had a lifetime of doing that with this association. In today's culture, the societal norm is too often focused on the highlight and the tweet and the text, and the existence of virtual communities or the instant post and assorted social media. And while these are all, appropriate, this association's norm is to be more personal, more caring, and more engaged in our membership's well-being, both personally and professionally. And for over 25 years, Charles, Ron, Steve, and Jay, you've helped establish these norms within this association. Today is the Cobb County Bar's Day to show you gratitude to each of you. For showing gratitude is one of the simplest, yet most powerful things a human can do for another. Thank you. You each answered the clarion call of service to the community and your profession in this association. You each were given and are wearing a purple boutonniere. And that color, too, is not done randomly. The color represents what you have brought to the profession and to this bar association. Purple is the color of good judgment, wisdom, dignity, and devotion. The color purple is also a very rare occurring color in nature. Equally rare is the longevity of possessing those qualities the color represents that each of you have shared and continue to share with this membership. Charles, you started practicing here in Cobb County in 1984, but I'm sure it's really the last 19 years that have been so special to you practicing with your wife, Liz. You continue to show your love of law and the excitement every day when you get up, as she tells me, to go into work. As a trial lawyer, you've been lead counsel or co-counsel over 100 trials and many more non-jury, specializing in personal injury, premises liability, the whole gamut. You were a member of this Bar Association's leadership for a number of years, giving of your time and your skill on the Board of Trustees, as president of the Trial Lawyers Section, and many other things. Thank you for what you've done. As Liz said to me, overall, he's a pretty amazing guy. And she's correct. Ron's been practicing here since 1975, beginning as an insurance defense attorney and then transitioning into plaintiff's work. And to understand Ron's way of practicing, it's best to look what a client said of him. Ron Lowry treated me like a friend, not just a client. Mr. Lowry made sure I understood the entire process and everything that was going on. He always returned my phone calls and made himself available and answered any question. Ron is not only a great lawyer, but I consider him a friend. That's from a client, which can't be any higher tribute. Ron is not only a friend of his clients, but he's a friend of this association, having served as bar president. He continues to have a strong presence in the Board of Governors at the State Bar of Georgia. Anytime Ron is asked to do even the most trivial of things, Ron does it and he gets it done. He doesn't kick the can. He does it right then. Including in this was his unyielding work to create a health insurance program with the State Bar, which is now finally in existence. Ron helped make that happen. Ron was recently given our Sacred Bobby Cleveland Award, recognizing the highest level of professionalism, most deservedly so. He's a mentor to many, and on a personal note, he's been a huge mentor to me, because I know I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for Ron's support. Thank you, Ron. The bar thanks you, and I thank you. Steve. Steve's a native of Maryland. He used to be a Maryland police officer, and then he transitioned into the insurance industry as a claims adjuster, where he worked for about a dozen years. He worked for many insurance companies handling claims investigations, homeowners liability, product liability, and then he decided to go to law school. He came down here, I think Geico was the company he was with, and he came down here to begin work in Georgia. And like many people who had a family, he worked many jobs to go to law school while raising his family, and finally passed the bar and became a lawyer in 1981, and began focusing on personal injury, wrongful deaths, and things of that nature, and continued to work with the insurance industry. He's been an active member of the State Bar of Georgia, the Cobb County Bar Association, as well as groups in the community, as former president of the East Cobb Office Club, and former Commodore of the Alatoona Yacht Club.
Lost the money.
And as you can see in that little picture, he's an avid fisherman. I asked Kathy LaRoe, who's been his, I guess, office mate, sheriff's office space for the last 9 years, to tell me a little bit about Steve. And what she said was this: we've shared space for approximately 9 years. He's been a loyal and loving friend and associate. He's like a brother to me. And he's also the original Mr. Fixit. Steve, job well done. Thank you for all you've done. Jay Stevenson, I saw you, but I don't see where you're sitting. Jay, okay. As we all know, Jay has served as our elected Superior Court clerk for over 2 decades. During his tenure, Jay brought forth technology changes in the clerk's office, and in many instances, they were the first in the state, another Cobb first. He implemented a computer system that allowed documents to be scanned and available for viewing on the internet within hours of receipt. And when Jay said that he was going to retire from his post, the Attorney General, Sam Olens, said of Jay, "Jay's an absolute asset to the office. We should be very proud in Cobb to have had such a well-run clerk's office for many years. While clerks in other jurisdictions and counties have been criticized for inefficiencies, that never was an issue with Jay. He is passionate about the clerk's office and his employees." But prior to becoming the clerk of Superior Court, Jay was a real estate attorney with Sands, Dozier, and Glover. At that firm at that time was Judge Harris Adams and Judge Irma Glover, although they weren't judges at that time. So one can only imagine the dialogue that went on between the three of them in that firm. And I was trying to get Judge Glover to give me some insight on Jay, and I had to track her down. She's at a conference, and she called me last night. And here's what she said. I said, "Judge Glover, of the days with Jay, what were your memories of him then?" Now, I'm not good at imitations, but you know you've got Judge Glover's voice in your head, right? Like that. "Well, he never had hair, never as long as I've known him." Now, I'm looking at those pictures, and she said, "I see hair," so I really think it was more a thing about her being so short.
But she's not here.
Well, she knows she's short. She went on to say, "Jay, you're complex. You're dead serious about your job, and you're good at it. You have a very playful side, and you're a lot of fun." Then she went on to say, "You know what? He's a darn good guy." And yeah, you are. I use this quote from Winston Churchill a lot because it captures the core of what this association is about. Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." And we know that Charles, Ron, Steve, and Jay, you've all made a good living, and we're honored that you have shared your life with what you have given. Many thanks to you all. If you come on. So that they can get a good picture without this lecture in the way. Yes.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I love the Cobb County Bar Association. I really do love every one of you guys. God bless the Cobb County Bar Association. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. It's been a great ride. Thanks. Very briefly, when I came to practice out here, Judge White was on the bench, and if many of you who've been around as long as I have know, he took strong offense at anyone who made lawyer jokes. In particular, he took offense to lawyers making lawyer jokes. He said, "You need to be proud of this profession you've chosen." So with that in mind, I am humbled and honored to receive this. I am proud in general to be a lawyer, and I'm particularly proud to be a member of this organization. Thank you.
Gosh, how can I top that? I am also proud to be a member of this organization, and proud to be an attorney. I started out on the police force and then went to insurance claims, and from there I decided that I was telling these attorneys what to do on my cases. They're making more money than I am. Something wrong with that. So I went to law school and then I switched over. Thank you all. I appreciate it very much.
Yes. We have a special presentation coming up, keeping in the theme, and I will turn over to Dawn to make that.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For nearly 100 years, Cobb County was part of the Blue Ridge Judicial Circuit. The Blue Ridge Circuit formed its own bar association in 1946. As you might imagine, with a circuit covering 11 counties, the members were spread over a great distance, making regular meetings impractical for most members. In 1953, Cobb was made a separate judicial circuit. That same year, the Cobb Judicial Circuit Bar Association was formed. It had 52 charter members. It is my honor today to recognize the last remaining charter member, Mr. Fred Bentley Sr. In the time I have known Mr. Bentley, I have seen him as an example of what is best in the profession. This organization is infused with many of the same wonderful attributes that Mr. Bentley has. I maintain that is no accident. Mr. Bentley, or Mr. B as I call him, has been referred to as the Renaissance man, and the title fits. There isn't much he hasn't done during his astonishing career, which spans 65 years and counting. He served in the Navy at the end of World War II. He served in the Georgia House of Representatives, and he served in the Georgia Senate. He served as Cobb County's outside counsel. He served as city attorney for Kennesaw. He served as the Cobb County School Board attorney. He even served as an attaché to Ghana. Note the repeated word serve. Mr. B has demonstrated a career-long commitment to serve and has perpetuated that commitment within this organization and within the legal community. Mr. B has also acted as a mentor many times in his long career. He has nurtured many generations of attorneys, and to see the proof, one need look no further than his own office. He has 2 sons who have followed him into the profession. They carry those same commitments to service and the profession into their own practices. And now he has 2 grandsons who are following the same path. However, his nurturing qualities don't stop at the walls of his office. He has been known to nurture, mentor, and befriend newcomers too. He cites the need to nurture and mold new attorneys as one of the key reasons for starting this bar association all those many years ago. Collegiality is also an attribute that Mr. B says this organization was intended to perpetuate. There is no question that he walks the walk in this regard. In a recent interview, he recounted his experience early in his career in a hotly contested matter. He and his opponent, the #1 condemnee attorney in the city of Atlanta, were, as he put it, nearly at the fistfight stage in front of the special master. The judge stopped the proceeding, walked around the bench, took Mr. B's hand, took his opponent's hand, and said, "We're going to sing Kumbaya."
And we did.
And they settled the case. In his career and dealings with other attorneys and judges, he has remembered and reminded that we can and should disagree without being disagreeable. He has made tremendous efforts to pass this overriding principle to attorneys through this organization and through his interactions with attorneys in his day-to-day practice. His commitment to this principle was recognized by this organization in 1997 when he received the Bobby Cleveland Award. However, he is not only admirable in the courtroom. He has spent a great deal of his time, treasure, and talent improving our community beyond his legal practice. He is one of the founders of the Marietta Cobb Museum of Art. He has served on the advisory board of the YWCA. He is a life member of the Georgia PTA. He's been a trustee for the Cobb Landmark Society. He's been the chairman of the Georgia Council for the Arts and Humanities. He's made significant contributions to the Rare Book Room at KSU, Brown University, and to the museums at UGA and Emory. His office looks like a museum. If I cataloged all the philanthropic projects he has been in, we would be late for court this afternoon. But I want to be careful not to give you the wrong impression of Mr. B. He is hardworking, committed, and serious when he needs to be. However, much like this organization, he also knows how to let his hair down and have fun. And he has always kept his sense of humor. And he knows the importance of getting his exercise. I am particularly impressed by this since I have never been able to jump over the back of a chair. And it's my understanding that he continued to do this well into his 60s when his doctors asked him to stop. As you might have guessed, I'm a big fan of Mr. B. I thank him personally for all the help and encouragement he has given me in the years that I've known him. I thank you, we all thank you, for your inspirational example of what an attorney should be. We thank you for your example of what an attorney can accomplish, both in and out of the courtroom. We thank you for making Cobb a better place, and we thank you for acting as an example of how we can make it a better place. You've received your lifetime membership some time ago, but we want to take this opportunity to thank you for helping to create this bar association that we value so highly. And we thank you for helping to make it an organization that fosters and perpetuates these important values in the succeeding generations of attorneys. Thank you, Mr. Fred Bentley Sr.
Before we stop, I just wanted to tell you that I go all the way back to when we rode the trail, and we would ride from one county to another in order to practice law,
Wow.
in order to try cases. But I want to tell you this, that there's never been a better bar than this bar right here. I know, I belong to 4 of them. But thank you for coming, and God bless you, and God bless every one of you. And I hope and pray that your 65 years will be just as wonderful and great as mine has been. And I hope that your children will follow your footsteps as mine have. God bless you.